Hi everyone, Alex here, and today I'm going to tell you how we spent 2 nights in Hoi An, Vietnam. I'll go over how we got there, where we stayed, what we did, and what we bought. I will link our other Vietnam videos in the description, including the one where I go over how I planned our 10-day trip. At the end of the video, I'll also share a little guide for you to screen grab of all of my Google Pins I had saved during my research. Let's dive into how we got there. We took a direct flight from Hanoi to Da Nang, which takes about an hour and a half. One-way flights can cost as little as $45 to $90 depending on when you're going. If you want a cheaper option, there are sleeper trains and buses available, but those will take around 16 to 18 hours. So I'd say the flights are definitely worth it. We arranged for our hotel to pick us up from the airport for an additional fee, which took about 45 minutes. Moving on to where we stayed. We stayed at the Hoi An Emerald Riverside Resort. I really liked this location because it was really quiet where we were, but it was only a 10 to 15 minute walk to where all the action was. They also had bikes that we could rent for free, but more on that later. Let's talk about what we did for 2 days. We arrived pretty late in the evening and went directly to the night market. Despite it being a small area, it's the most famous market in Hoi An with around 50 stalls selling lanterns, handicrafts, and some food. We paid some extra money to get these touristy photos taken and then really enjoyed just walking around. The market led us to the Japanese bridge, which is where you'll find all these boats lined up to take you on a ride down the river. Each one gives you the opportunity to light a candle and release it on a small lantern into the water. We paid around 200,000 dong, or around $8 for our boat ride. This little area is full of nightlife with lots of bars and people crowded into one area. There was a lot of outdoor seating and a good amount of live music going on. We started off by finding a good little place across the river that had craft beer and then made our way to a couple more bars before heading back to the hotel for the night. In the morning, we woke up, had a really good breakfast, and then made our way into town. I had been in touch with the tailor and they told us to get there at around 10:30 in the morning. This appointment took about 2 hours total. During that time, we discussed our inspiration photos, chose fabrics, negotiated prices, and got our detailed measurements taken. We were done around 12:30 and were told to come back around 6 for our first fitting. Since we only had 2 days in Hoi An, being available for fittings was our main priority. There are definitely some day trips I would have liked to schedule, but in the end, fittings dictated our schedule. After lunch, we picked up our free rental bikes at our hotel. I had booked one of those coconut basket boat rides on Airbnb, so we made our way there. On the way, we went through the Hoi An Central Market, where we bought some local coffee to bring home. Our bike ride took us all on the river. It was so peaceful and quiet compared to the ancient town, but still had the same amount of charm. We especially noticed that it was super cute near the Rivia Coffee Cafe. So getting to the coconut village, it's totally chaotic when you get there. We were told to look for a guy in a pink shirt, which did not make any sense to us until we got there and saw all the different people in different colored shirts. Each boat company has different colored shirts and salespeople all beckoning you to go to their boats. Luckily, we found someone in a pink shirt pretty quickly, and he showed us where to park our bikes and then told us where we could go to grab lunch. We had a good little lunch here, did some good people watching, and then made our way back to the boat. Overall, we really enjoyed this experience. We were given a coconut drink and a hat, which were super cute in photos and very refreshing. We saw some people fishing for crabs along the water's edge. There were these karaoke floats and people casting fishing nets. I'm sure you've seen the videos of people spinning around really fast in those boats. They wanted like 100,000 dong for it, which really isn't that much, but in the end we decided to just chill with our coconuts. Overall, it's a pretty touristy thing to do, but it's also a really fun thing to do. After all of that, we took our time riding our bikes back into town. We made a slight detour to this Rastafarian themed bar randomly that had outdoor pool. Then we biked a few kilometers to some rice fields. I'm not 100% sure where we were, but I'm pretty sure it was the Google pin that's labeled Hoi An Rice Fields Cycling and Sunset. It was really pretty during sunset and very peaceful, and we were happy that we did it because we didn't get to see any other rice fields while we were in Vietnam. Driving on the main roads during rush hour though was enough to give me a heart attack, so I was very happy when we made it back to our tailor for our 6 p.m. fitting. It's crazy how fast they bring it all together. Will was able to try on his 2 suits and I could try on the blazer I was getting. They did a really good job, but obviously had some fine tuning to do, so we were set to come back in the next day at 11:30. For dinner, we went back to the main drag where all the nightlife was, and then we actually met up with someone from our Halong Bay cruise. It was her birthday, so we celebrated all into the night and enjoyed a lot of good live music. I will say we made it to our 11:30 tailoring appointment a little worse for wear, which led to some funny comments from our tailors. They still wanted to make a few tiny adjustments, so we had one last appointment made for 2 p.m. In the meantime, we bopped around town a little bit. We went to go get some breakfast at this cute little cafe with a balcony. And then I found this specialty coffee shop. It's called Tree Long Coffee, and it serves a delicacy called weasel coffee. This coffee is made by roasting beans that have been digested and pooped out by weasels. They were very happy to share with us the entire process. After all of that, we made our way back to the tailor, had our final fitting, and were finally able to pay the bill. They packed everything up so nicely, and it very easily fit into our suitcases. On our way back to the hotel, we had a little bit of time, so we stopped in this place nearby to get a nice little foot massage. After that, our time was unfortunately coming to an end. It was a really fast visit. We had to check out of our hotel and then wait for our 45-minute drive back to the airport so we could catch our flight to Ho Chi Minh City. I did so much research for this leg of the trip, but we really didn't have that much time to do anything. So as promised, here is my little guide to all the Google pins that I had saved from my research. I really hope that this video and all of these resources help you plan your perfect trip to Hoi An. My next video will be about Ho Chi Minh City, our last and final stop. But until then, happy planning. Bye. Karaoke 100,000.
Everything's 100,000.
Even look at karaoke, it's 100,000.